think you're done, Arsenal find a way to drag you back in. Guys, we're going to be covering all of the Champions League games, including the Arsenal game, Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid, Borussia Dortmund versus Lille, and Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. Let's get stuck in with Arsenal's record-breaking performance against PSV. And just being honest with you, from an Arsenal perspective, and a fan perspective at least, we came into this game probably with the least enthusiasm I've ever seen of an Arsenal game, let alone a Champions League game. And I think it just surrounds the state of the club at the moment. Most importantly, Arsenal not signing the players that a lot of the fans thought they should have signed in January, losing out in terms of the title race in the Premier League. Very disappointing. However, the players responded in such a form. We're going to look at the lineups very, very quickly. Key things to talk about from an Arsenal perspective: Moreno up top again, Trossard, Nwaneri up top, front three that Arsenal probably will rely on until the end of the season, unless they get Saka, Martinelli back relatively soon. Guard in the midfield, Partey and Rice alongside him, Timber and Lewis Skelly in the fullback positions, and Gabriel and Saliba in the centre-back positions. For the PSV team, they had Lang up top, De Jong, Perisic, Till in the midfield. They've got Ledesma and Malacia in the fullback positions, and Benitez in goal. A number of players who performed very, very well against Juventus in both legs. Coming up against this Arsenal team, Arsenal on fire. I'm not going to go into the intricacies of each and every goal because we would be here all day, but a brilliant performance from start to finish by Arsenal in general. Key players to talk about: obviously defensively very, very strong. Only goal that was conceded was from a penalty from Thomas Partey. He was probably one of the negatives of the game. Performance wasn't ideal, given away the penalty wasn't ideal. Skelly had to be taken off after 35 minutes. He found himself in a number of problems in terms of the yellow card and potentially could have been sent off. Smart decision by Mikel Arteta to remove him from that. Arsenal kicked it off by Timber with his brilliant goal. Brilliant work by Declan Rice to find him and for him to put the ball away. Declan Rice just shows how unique of a midfielder he is. He can do it all. He's built like a tank. Tall, strong, fast, can play a pass, can strike a ball. He has it all. He just needs to be put in a position to demonstrate that. But what do you want from him? You know, he does need to develop some of his passing from that deeper position and his range of passing. But can he do it? Absolutely. Odegaard, absolutely brilliant performance. 2 goals and assists from him. That's what we need. That ball striking. I already said it. If he can get 12 to 15 goals for Arsenal in all competitions, mainly in the Champions League and Premier League, they can do big things. If he's not contributing, then Arsenal are at a major deficit because they don't have a striker who can score. They do have Moreno who's stepping in, got a goal and an assist. Got to give my congratulations to him, stepping in that position, doing what it needs to be done. For his goal, dogged work, was relentless in trying to find the ball and get the ball, and got the ball in an advantageous position because PSV were very, very sloppy and put the ball in the back of the net. Only other person to cover really from a key standpoint, Trossard was really good. Obviously took his goal very, very well, but Ethan Nwaneri, again, brilliant goal, assisted by Lewis Skelly. Doesn't show up on the score sheet because I think there was a slight deflection, but a brilliant performance by him, a brilliant performance by Arsenal, record breaking for them, their best European performance away from home in the knockout round. Also PSV's worst performance in terms of any game, which is, you know, very disheartening from their side. If we look quickly at the stats, you can see that, you know, Arsenal were in control, were dominant, but were clinical. 8 shots on target, 7 in the back of the net, and that's exactly what you want to see from an Arsenal perspective. Can they carry it on? I would say probably not, but you know, if they have this hunger for goals, then yes. I think PSV were poor. I think Arsenal were good. There was a balance there. Arsenal were hungry to change the narrative, and that's exactly what they did. But again, they need to look at what they can do to take it a step further. Following on from this game, PSV have such a mountain to climb. It will be very interesting to see what they can do, if anything at all. The writing's on the wall. They will be out of this competition. Very disappointing for them. They had a lot of hopes and ambitions coming into this game, but Arsenal ran them ragged and were more than deserving of their victory. You look at the expected goals, 1.97 for Arsenal to score 7 goals, just shows how clinical they were and how hungry they were for goals. So hats off to them. They will be facing the winner of Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. And what a first leg we were given. Rodrigo on the score sheet, Alvarez with the return, 2 brilliant goals in their own right. We had an amazing first leg. Rodrigo opening the score sheet very early on, showing his brilliance, getting in behind the defender, and a brilliant strike one of the most talented players in the team, doesn't get the love that he probably normally should warrant. But my God, does he perform? Alvarez with an equally unbelievable strike from his side. We'll look at both teams very, very quickly. And, Atletico Madrid, very, very structured in their system. I have to give my hats off to them of how they set themselves up. However, Real Madrid have quality in all areas, this time being able to take advantage of the brilliant play down the wings, both Mendy and Valverde getting assists for the brilliant play of Rodrigo and Brahim Diaz. Something that you love to see from Real Madrid. They can get goals from either Vinicius, Mbappe. They didn't have Jude Bellingham. They didn't have Jude Bellingham this time. He's out. They didn't have Jude Bellingham this time, but they were able to put themselves in a system and a setup that meant that they were as dogged, as strong as the likes of Atletico Madrid. A lot more guile in those wide positions and up front, matching the likes of Griezmann and Alvarez, but taking it a step further with Rodrigo and Brahim Diaz makes them equally as dangerous. And again, facing your city rivals is never, ever easy. The second leg will be highly contested. We know how dangerous Diego Simeone and his team can be. But on the outlook of this first game, I am leaning towards Real Madrid. I just think they've got a little bit more and they have the ability to be as structured as Atletico Madrid. One thing about Carlo Ancelotti is he knows how to set up a team to win, and I think he's put himself in a position with how he's got Vinicius, how he's got Mbappe playing, the likes of Rodrigo, Drew Bellingham to come back into the team. It's looking very, very good, and I think Atletico Madrid may just lack that little bit of firepower to take them to the next round, but we shall see. All is to be played for in the return leg, where either Madrid team will be facing the winner of PSV versus Arsenal. Next up, Borussia Dortmund and Lille playing out to a 1-1 draw. Both teams would have given them a chance to progress from this tie. It will be a tightly contested tie, as we could see from the first leg. Two talented teams in their own right. I would say Borussia Dortmund do have the better attacking talent. Yemi with the first goal and Hardleson with the return for Lille. Again, both teams will be going into the next game thinking that either could qualify and either could find themselves in the quarter final, what position they could find themselves in, and it's all to play for both teams. The next game we're going to be covering Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa found themselves up in the game very, very early. Leon Bailey with the opening goal. Quick equaliser from Club Brugge meant the game was a 1-1 for the majority of the game. And being honest with you, Club Brugge for the first half were dominating. They were dangerous. They were causing a number of issues. It almost looked like they were going to get the victory at some point of the game. However, going into the second half, one thing about Unai Emery is he again knows how to set up a team. There's some managers who are just very pragmatic, who know how to put them teams in, who know how to put their teams in position to win, and he is one of them. Dangerous in attack as always. Club Blues were playing well, and it looked like they might have the opportunity to steal the victory, but unfortunately for them, they did concede an own goal. Brilliant work again from Aston Villa. The ball whipped down the wing and inadvertently turned into its own net, and Club Brugge will find themselves 2-1 down. Nail was put into the coffin when Marco Asensio came off the bench to finish off the game. 3-1 for Aston Villa, putting themselves in a very, very strong position to enter into the quarterfinals. And there's no reason why they can't start to dream. I mean, if a manager could do very well in this competition, Unai Emery would be near the top of the list. Obviously, he has had more success in the Europa League than in the Champions League. However, there's nothing stopping him. He knows how to set his teams up. He's got a group of players who can really do some damage. A number of teams attacking wise, you can't forget about what Rodgers can do. Watkins, Rashford, Asensio, Bailey. They've got a star-studded core of attackers while being relatively solid in their own right. But catch them on the wrong day, you may be in trouble. Catch them on the right day, you may be able to take an advantage of them. I think that's where Aston Villa are at the moment. But if they can continue to build on the momentum of this victory, it could take them very, very far. Guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss all of the other games. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I want to know what your game of the day was, what you thought about the Arsenal performance. Who do you think is going to qualify from Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid? Same thing with Dortmund and Lille. And also, how do you think Aston Villa will fare in this year's competition? Can they go all the way into the semis and even the final? Let me know. I'll talk to you guys soon. It's been EDA. Peace.